Hey guys, this is Tombox. I completely forgot that I mentioned that there is a giveaway in this particular video, so I'm tacking it onto the very front. So, the giveaway is for 2 items, the New York Comic Con Playmat featuring 3,000 beat of dragons, that's like 9,000 attack worth of dragons. And that's going to be Blue Eyes White Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend, and Armed Dragon level 10. So those are the dragons featured on the mat. All the anti-heroes basically to some point. And of course we have Duel Devastator if you guys want to get your hands on some pretty awesome reprints basically for free because it's shipped to your door via ONAMI. So you guys can check the giveaway down in the description below. Just follow the instructions, just check out various things I work on, such as this channel at Tombox.TV. You can check out my Instagram, which is a foodie Instagram, or check out the Facebook or my Twitter, whatever social media that I'm posting out there. Just check it out. It increases your odds of winning. And that is all I got for the giveaway. So stay tuned for New York Comic Con. And let's go on to the video. Sure, I'll take your deck list, and you can pass your registration to my associate right here. Hey guys, it's Tombox. Thanks for tuning into MST.TV. We got a little bit of a different segment for you guys today. In today's segment, we're going to be looking at deck lists. That's right. Whether you go to a regional, YCS, or WCQ, you have to submit one of these deck lists with your registration, and you got to play with the list that you've written in there for the rest of the tournament, or at least for the rest of the main event. Now, since I've been on the receiving end of hundreds and hundreds of these deck lists, I can tell you why a lineup builds up at the registration. Most of the time, and a very big factor of it, is usually because of deck lists. If you guys write a huge mess of it and we have to take longer to check up your list, well then you'll take longer for people to register because we can't let the players walk away from the table until the deck list is checked. So there's that. Sorry guys. So the messier it is, the worse off it is, and the more likelihood that you will have to wait until your tournament starts. That's just unfortunate. And there are certain occasions where I have actually made someone rewrite their entire list because it was actually, well, that bad. And there's certain things that you do and do not. And that's what this video is about. We're going to be looking at the do's and don'ts of a deck list. I'll even go over 60 card decks and how to fill them out so that it's easy for the judges to read. And this is mainly for judges, this is for the tournament organizers, and you guys as players, because first of all, you guys don't want to get penalized with a round 1 loss because you registered late and someone like Tombox made you rewrite your entire list. Yeah, sorry, hashtag not actually sorry. But yeah, anyways, let's jump into this one. Let's go for the top-down view so that we can go through this. And I actually wrote 3 lists myself just so that I can illustrate some of these points. So make sure you smash that like button and hit the subscribe because, man, this thing took me forever to write. I didn't think that would take me an hour to write 3 lists. So we got here our very first list. It's a Red Eyes deck, all written in red. Seems like the numbers are all in order. We got a proper side deck, a proper extra deck. And this is 100% a deck list that I will probably make you rewrite the entire thing because you wrote it in red. Sorry for those of you guys who are colorblind, but you cannot write in red because red is the color that judges use, and you can't tell if a judge crossed this out or you crossed it out. And for the top part here, because it's all filled up, did a judge fill that out or did you fill it out? Now it becomes a huge problem, and we really just want to avoid the problem altogether. So to avoid some miscommunication of whether a player or a judge wrote on this thing, this is going to be passed off to the back of the line. I talked with a deck check team before when I received a list like this. I received 2 of the, technically I received a total of 3 of these lists. They were through different events, and both of them told me, yeah, we can't accept the list that's written like this because red pen, judges only. So just avoid using a red pen altogether. So rule number 1, don't use a red pen to write your deck list or else you'll have to rewrite your entire list. It's as simple as that. Okay, so on to the second list here. Wow, this one's a mess, but these are pretty common when it comes to receiving a deck list, but I don't recommend you guys giving us something like this. Something like this does slow us down. Okay, so in terms of a PSA, tip number 2, make sure you guys initial up top, because if you guys don't initial up top, you might get called up to the registration to initial your deck list, and that is a thing. So make sure you initial it, because if you initial it, it just signifies that, hey, this list is written by me, I've checked everything, this is what I'm agreeing to. So that being said, it is the player's initial up there. Judges will be putting their mark right here, the initial right here, and is the deck list checked, they'll just put a check right there. So usually that's where the judges go. This is for the player, and this is what the player put in their deck total. Please count your deck. I've gotten many occurrences where someone actually thought that they were running less cards than they actually thought. They thought that they were running like 42, but they're running 43. Stuff like that. It gets really confusing, and when there's like a discrepancy between the number, I like to make sure that the players can play with the actual deck that they're going, rather than something that they wrote on their deck list and they can't actually play. That aside, that was tip number 2. Make sure that you check the initial right there. Third thing rather, is please don't write extra crap on your list, like 0 infinite impermanence. If you guys write something like that, a judge will either cross it out for you, or a judge will make you cross out everything that is extra, like 0 artifact lands, 0 infinite impermanence. See, it gets really confusing. 0 super polish, 0 sanctum. Why are you putting in the zeros? Now, this isn't like a common case for people writing their deck list by hand, but it is more common case for people typing out their deck list, and they save the template of their list. And because they saved the template of their list, they just don't want to retype all their cards over and over and over again. I think it's like smart that you guys wrote all the cards that you might put in your side deck, or you might put in your main deck. But that being said, just empty out the fields if you're not going to be using it, or just like save a duplicate copy so that you can actually get rid of it and keep your template copy. I know you guys, it's a bother to constantly retype these things, but for a judge to have to go through hundreds and hundreds of these lists, let me tell you, it does wear someone down, and it does create more room for error. So number 3, don't write extra junk on your deck list. Now, number 4, this is for 60 card decks. For 60 card decks, if you're going to write something, usually there's just not enough space in one of these columns. Say you got a ton of monsters, you're mixing like 2 archetypes together. Like this particular deck here, there's like Orcus, there's Dangers, there is Supreme Kings, there is Pendulums, there's Zephyras. There's like huge list here, and there's just not enough space to fill it all in one column for all the monsters. And since this is supposedly a 60 card deck, you put stuff, well, on the back. If you notify us with a mark to tell us that there's more on the back, we can, as a judge, will probably circle it to make sure that it identifies that, hey, there is more stuff in the back, and that is like a judge confirmed that there are more stuff in the back. Or another option you can do is, if you're not using your entire spell column, you've written out all your spells, you can just try to like create a bit of a divider here. Just split it up, just write monster continued, and just fill up the rest of the monster throughout these columns. That is one of your possibility, one of your choices. That actually is pretty clean, but please don't be like, oh, put a spell here, put a monster here, put a spell here, put a monster here. That is super confusing, and when we're counting, we gotta do something like, oh, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Is that part of it? Maybe, yeah. Oh yeah, that's 10. So so it gets really confusing, and we have to leave a lot of markers for us, and that's not good. That slows the entire lineup down. So rather than doing that, just don't do that. So that part, make sure you guys just, if you're gonna be writing more, keep it in clean sections. All right. Now we're gonna look into something that is kind of annoying, but please don't do this. Like this stuff here, this is borrow what? Okay, I can identify there's a B, there's a D in here, and there's an L. So this is a borrow something. That's my assumption. And is it a borrow load or a borrow sword? You know, it's a good question. I've stopped so many like checks because I couldn't read it. And what is this? Can you guys identify what this is? It starts with a K and it ends with an X. If you guess Nightmare Phoenix, you're probably correct, I guess, for the most part. Or is that a D, and that makes it a mermaid? Or is that the mermaid? This stuff can be avoided if your writing is not that neat, and I'm not trying to criticize people's writing. By the way, this is just me writing with my left hand, trying to write it really fast, like under like a second. And this is exactly what it kind of turned out. I tried to write this one a bit slower, which is, can you guys identify what this is? If you guys guessed Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, you're correct. That's Odd Eyes Vortex. And this one is like barely readable. I'll try to confirm with you what it is. But aside from that, that's usually not as bad because the shapes are all there. But what is this one in particular? This one in the middle here. Is that a Nightmare Unicorn? Or is that a Nightmare Mermaid? I don't know. Beats me. So if we have to slow down because your writing is super messy, it's going to slow down the entire event. So the registration, that part, line's going to get held back. So other than that, there's Guard Dragon LP, Guard Dragon Pissy, Agripane. There is an El Shaddai Winda. This one here, TER. What is this TER? I've seen a lot of people just do this and they just expect people to know. TER is not good enough for Thousand Eyes Restrict. I can tell you that much. If you're gonna be like cutting stuff short, you can cut stuff short like OC for Orcus. Like mainly archetype stuff is super easy to cut short because it makes a lot of sense because that's consistent. But for cards like Gizmek Orochi, the Serpenitron Sky Slasher or whatever it is, that's really long, but as long as you have Gizmek Orochi and the Serpent part, the Sky Slasher you can just put like SS, and I think it's still enough. It's enough for me personally. I'm not sure if it's enough for everyone else. So that being said, this is not okay. This needs to be Thousand Eyes Restrict. You can't just cut it short to like I don't even know what that monster is anymore. Like, is this is the Eerie Earth? I don't know. What do you want me to say? But yes, I guess if you're gonna be abbreviate consistently. And oh, here's one other thing. Don't worry about the side deck and the extra deck. People mix it up all the time. I think 70% of people won't mix it up, and there's 30% of people that will. We're used to just seeing people just draw an arrow and swap the two together, and that's fine. So you can see people that would just put like, oh, this is actually the extra deck and that's actually the side deck, and that's no problem. You don't have to rewrite a list just because you messed that part up. But yeah, don't touch anything on this side, however. Leave it to the judges. This is for deck check and for the initial check as well. And what do we have here on our third list? Oh my god, it's a clean list. They have the event, they have initials, names, Kasi ID. This is a really sick name. I don't know who has this actual Kasi ID number, but damn, you got a really cool number. Aside from that, looking at this list, this one is actually just here to tell you guys, make sure you count your cards. It's kind of essential that you do, because like you put on 40, you put on 20, like sure. If I was lazy and I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. But if I do an actual count here, this is 3, this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This is not 20. Don't circle it, by the way. The judges will circle it once they confirm it. And once I count 19 here, I'll put down 19, circle, and then they'll be like, oh, this is 20. Cool. And then I'll stop you and be like, hey, buddy, you only have a 39 card deck. Or worst yet, you have a 41 card deck and you go down to 40, and I don't let you add the missing card that you have, and now you have to play with a deck that's missing a combo piece. What am I missing here? Well, this particular list is, well, the I guess this is Dragon Link FDK, and one card missing here is One World Chalice Guard Dragon. You see how big of a deal if you miss that card, you basically don't get to combo anymore whenever you synchro 5. So yeah, you just have to make sure that you can confirm with your peers if you're going to be checking a list. And speaking of checking someone's list, here's another thing back onto the older list. Going down into what this is. You're going through the list. You're looking at Nightmare, Symbol, Harp Horror, World Wand, I guess Gizmek, all the Danger guys, the Scream Kings, and then you get to this mythical beast Jackal. Yes, it is a monster, but if you want to give them the courtesy, you would ask them, is mythical beast Jackal actually the monster you're running? And if they say yes, then you just initial it saying confirmed. Because they might be arguing that they're playing King Jackal, or Jackal King, rather than just Jackal. Because Jackal is that little tiny, I think level 3 pendulum monster, whatever it is. But once you confirm this with them, they're stuck running Jackal, and I can tell you they're going to want to drop the event. So you could try to confirm. Give them the courtesy, because this is still part of customer service. Because customers sometimes don't know what they want. And having that bit of confirmation, you can get them to put in the correct monster so that they're not stuck with a list where they can't even play. And back to this particular list, yeah, you make sure you just count up everything. Everything seems to be in correct order. Guard Dragon. Okay, if someone just put down Saryuja in the extra deck, I'm okay with it because there's no other monster named Saryuja. Although we both know that it is Saryuja Skull Dread. And there are other Saryuja cards in the deck. So if it was in the side deck and they just put in Saryuja, that's not good enough, because there's Saryuja trap cards, Saryuja shackles, and what do you say to that? So yeah, please, if you abbreviate properly, and make sure you count your cards. And for a last little tip, this is a bit of a bonus tip. I'm not sure if this is proper, but I think I would appreciate it if I'm the one reading your deck list. If you guys can put like little markers at every 10 cards, it would make things a lot easier. Like, oh, this is 10 cards here, you put a little marker. You don't have to put the number 10 there. Just like having little markers there, we can confirm and put down a little number just so that we don't lose count. Because whenever we lose count or we're forced to recount, it's really nice to have an area where we can actually confirm, and this speeds up the process. Whenever something goes wrong, and that's when we actually have to do the full recount of everything. That's usually when there's a discrepancy between your number and our number, and having this ability to recount it quickly and being able to show you, like, this is 10 cards, this is this many cards, like being able to like show it to the person, it helps them identify the problem quicker, and overall it's just easier problem solving. Either whether or not it's proper to put these markers down, I think it's just a bit of a godsend, to be honest, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to. But it does speed up the deck check process, because at any point we'll be able to like recount, and if we lose count because you're doing a 60 card deck and I only count like 59, you count 60, I count 59, we can agree to various points, like this is 10 because this is adding up to 10, and this is like 20 because it adds up to 20. It just makes it so that it's a lot easier to confirm with the player what's going on. And yeah, that's the last of my little PSA. Do you guys have any other tips when it comes to filling up your deck list, keeping your decks organized? Some people, I think one of the best ways to fill out your deck list is to sort your entire deck and go through them one by one. But the problem with that is, if you're filling it at an event, well, I can tell you that some people will be looking at what card for card what you are playing. So I always recommend filling up your entire deck list before you even get to the event, and just playing with that as it is. Anyways, that's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this deck list PSA, it's very different, very not really Yu-Gi-Oh! But I guess it's just to make sure that the event runs a bit more smoothly. Well, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. We've got tons of really good discussion topics coming up this particular week. So I look forward to reading your comments down in the comments section. And don't forget to hit subscribe, ding the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.